We are the 8th dimensional Pleiadian Rainbow Orb Collective. Let us briefly tell you a little bit about who we are. We are a fleet of peacekeeping orb ships. However, we are also a military fleet of ships. We are 8th dimensional beings mostly from the Pleiades. Each one of our ships is a different solid color except for the head orb ship in our fleet. The one you might call the captain is rainbow in color. The other orb ships in our fleet consist of solid colors, such as blue, green, yellow, gold, orange, red, violet, pink. Then there is the white orb ship. That one is our admiral ship. The admiral ship is just an observer ship from our space command. Each ship has its own purpose which coincides with its individual color. First of all, we would like to say greetings, Ambassador. We love you so much, and it is really good to connect with you as it has been a long time in your Earth terms. We hope all is well. Let us just start by saying cosmic greetings to all of our little orbsters, orbaholics and orbomaniacs. Dear ones, other souls out there cannot get enough your orbified personality. They just love the essence of your aura's energetic field. Dear ones, when you walk into a room, the energy shifts and the conversation turns. The onset of all of this is perceived through consciousness moments prior to you entering the room. Sweet souls, we recommend that you protect your energetic aura at all times. Many enlightened souls have learned to put up boundaries around their energetic aura fields on a consistent basis. These souls will often leave gatherings or festivities early because they know the value of keeping themselves grounded and firmly implanted in a higher vibrational frequency. They understand to protect their energies at all costs. However, our little light-coded delights never let that stop you from being loved and letting yourself be loved. There are so many souls out there, and some of them don't even realize it. However, they yearn to stand in the same frequency vibration that you have your feet firmly implanted in. Dear ones, we encourage you to always stand in your power. We know that down inside you really know how truly amazing you are. We just love you, our little orbsters. This has been the Pleiadian Rainbow Orb Collective from the 8th dimension, coming to you from the collective consciousness center of the Milky Way galaxy, the Pleiades.
Larry Locken. Hey, I was asked the question to explain a little bit about what these light codes and orbs are. Of the many social media platforms, our Pleiadian and Angelic Rainbow Orbs page and its affiliates are in. One of them is on Reddit. Of course, on Reddit, we are Orbit, O-R-B-B-I-T. Kind of a play on words, you know how they spell it, R-D-D-I-T. Well, I'm just going to give a quick rundown of what I know about orbs. I've been channeling the orbs for about 14 years now. Actually, 14 years next month when they first came into my life. They are extraterrestrial and angelic beings. Now, it just depends. These light codes and orbs come in a multitude of different colors, factions, styles, mixtures. It just depends. For instance, the ones that I've channeled over the years are from the 8th dimension. They're mostly Pleiadian star beings, but some of them are from Sirius and some of them are Arcturian and Lyran. Okay, they're orb ships, the ones that I channel. But as you go up the dimensions, the orbs turn more into a light code type of a looking being, you might say. As you start getting into the 11th, 12th, and 13th dimension, which I like to call the pre-angelic realms. Okay? They're beings from other places. That's part of it. Okay, some of these orbs that you see, some of the beings that you see in these orbs, and there's multiple beings in these orbs. The angelic ones have less in them. Sometimes they only have a handful, but the orb ships that I contact, they have, you know, anywhere from 50 to a couple hundred occupants. So they are also, some of the souls that you see in there are also souls that have just passed away from Earth, really enlightened souls that are, you know, taking a little trip around. They're coming back and letting their loved ones know that they're okay. You know, they might have had somebody that they had a really close bond with, and both of them are of a very spiritual nature in their own realm. That doesn't mean religious, but spiritual. And they come back to let them know that they're here. Okay, so you might see a being that looks like, you know, somebody that, a loved one you just lost. You might see like their face in an orb or their face in what looks like to be a cloud. Okay, that's part of it. Some of these beings are also souls that are getting ready to reincarnate back into Earth. All right? Usually in Earth time, if we were to put it into a time frame, because they don't operate on a timetable up there. Okay, they measure time, but it's in a weird, different way, and it's for historical documentation purposes only. I know, for instance, the Pleiades, they measure time in quadrants, from what I've been told. They're called quadrants because they're about the Earth equivalent of a quarter of a year to us, and they're just measuring that, like I said, for historical purposes. But they take a 2-year tour to decide where they might want to incarnate. You know, what kind of a family they want to incarnate to, you know, approximately the part of the planet they want to incarnate to, you know, things of that nature. So that's part of it. The rest of the crew, they're star beings. They're souls like you and I. They're just more ascended, and they exist on different dimensions and, you know, different realms on different planets, depending on how far up the ladder you go. Like I said, the higher up you go, the less solid you are, the more of a holographic light you become, you know. The thing with these orbs is, and the light codes, the color that they project, that is because of the frequency that they carry. That is because of their purpose, their function, the kind of being they are. You know, blue, very calming yet powerful color. Okay, confident. Green is a healing energy. Yellow is kind of a confidence booster. The color yellow is a confidence booster. Yellow and blue, actually, it's funny because yellow and blue, their offshot color, green, is a perfect reflection of those two colors, yellow and blue, and what they do. Okay, blue is the kind of color that you'd want to use to kind of calm down, relax, and rest a little bit. Now, contrast that with yellow. It's the same thing, but yellow's kind of the color you'd want to have to calm down and relax if you've got to be active. If you've got to go out and be active for the day, you know, and be around a lot of people and, you know, stay upbeat, stay high energy, yellow is kind of the color you would want to relate to, right? But if you were home and you weren't going to do anything anymore and you needed to relax there and not really do anything, then blue is your color. But these are beings. These are angels. I mean, it's plain and simple. And the thing is, you know, they talk a lot about disinformation with this, with that, with extraterrestrials, with that kind of a realm. That's really not the case with the orbs and the light codes as far as their color goes, okay? You can look it up. These things have a spiritual and an energetic meaning to them, all right? It's real easy to find what each of these colors mean. You can just Google it, and it'll tell you, okay? And that's exactly what they are. Those colors project the frequency that they vibrate at. They are beings. They are not something that's just lifeless, okay? These are intelligent, super ascended beings, right? Like crystals are. So are crystals. Okay, same thing. These are intelligent living beings. And that's what they are. You know, like I said, some of these orbs and light codes, some of them come from star nations. Some of them come from higher up than that into angelic realms. All right? The less solid the orb looks, the higher up the dimension it's from. For instance, it gets more smoother and flatter. And then it goes from a smoother and flatter type of a look to just like a light ray, a blend of light rays or one light ray. That's pretty much in a nutshell what it is. Okay, that's my dealings with them. All right, there are others that might be able to shed more light on it as far as their experience and what they are to them, but it's pretty cut and dry with me. Those are what I know about them that are for sure the case. I mean, anything else I wouldn't want to speculate on. But that's pretty much all I know and all that I really need to know. And that is my dealings with the orbs. They're very well documented on YouTube. The channelings I've had with them, my story with them, how I contacted them. I'm not going to get into it again here. All right, I just wanted to do this for that group, and let them know that they're extraterrestrial beings. It's not lens flare, it's not camera glare, it's not camera flare, and it's not lens glare, and it's not even professional wrestler Ric Flair. Excuse me, I got cut off there for a second. Yeah, it is what it is. You'll have a lot of naysayers, but hey, let them naysay. Okay, everybody has their own experience. Everybody has their own growth path, and that's what it is. And if there's any further questions you might have about orbs or light codes specifically, I could probably answer them a lot better than, just generalizing what they are. You can get a hold of me. Well, I'm Larry Locken on Facebook. There's only 2 Larry Lockens, LarryLocken, that I've ever seen on there. The other one is my dad. I'm the guy with the bald head that looks clueless, like he's staring up into the sky. I think that's my current picture. And you'll see a gray-haired guy with a beard. That's my dad. Anyway, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, don't forget to check us out on the Pleiadian and Angelic Rainbow Orbs page on Facebook. We also have 14 other affiliates on a multitude of different platforms. But you can find all those in one place as well. You can go to a Facebook page called Rockin' Larry Locken's Social Media Outlets. That's ROCKEN LOCKEN Locken. Rockin' Larry Locken. Yeah, it's kind of an old nickname. Social media outlets, and it'll show every single page, group, YouTube channel, everything I've ever been involved in on there. Okay, but we're everywhere with the orbs. So we appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed this little presentation.